Welcome to the Impact Effect podcast. I've got an amazing guest today. We're going to dive into all types of things. Johnny Harper owns multiple businesses, has been an entrepreneur for a while now, is doing all types of things, not just in Nashville, but other states, nationally, building teams, growing businesses, and I'm just fired up. So welcome, Johnny.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's dive into this thing. As always, we ask our guest, how are you showing up in the world and providing impact today?
I would say for me on a personal level is how I show up is I'm always going to do the right thing, and I'm always providing the correct value to the person that I'm doing whatever job it is for. I would say even if it costs me money or time or other things, I'm always going to do the right thing no matter what. And even if I can't provide any value or anything to that person, I'm going to shove them into the right place to where they can get handled. Because at the end of the day, I don't care if I'm doing business with you or I'm not. I'm going to put you in the right vehicle or the right area so you can get the help. Because I want to help everybody. Even if I can't physically or mentally help them, I want to help that person.
Makes total sense. And I think what you're describing is just living a life of ethics, right?
100%. I mean, you can't, that's it. It literally is.
Where did you learn that?
I grew up, I didn't grow up in a poor family or anything, but I grew up where we worked hard. I would say I was kind of a spoiled kid, but then also my parents ingrained in me a hard work ethic, always doing the right thing. Once I graduated high school, went straight into the field, working in a machine shop, I got dirty, I got there. I always made it on time. I put my energy into my work. It's very important for me. And I was like, this is how I want to live my life, because you don't want to go out and half-ass stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's like, I sleep really good at night. Even if I didn't help everybody, I gave it my all when I needed to. Yeah.
It's important, man.
Yeah.
You're talking about family, what your parents ingrained in you. You have how many children now?
I have 7.
7.
Yeah,
so you have 7 children. What are you focusing on to position them how you were positioned?
So we brought them into the homeschool industry, basically.
Nice.
So after COVID, pandemic and everything, it was kind of restricted. So we brought them in, we're going to homeschool these kids. But my kids now, we'll go flip a house or go to the bank or go somewhere else. We show them our money, where it's going, how do we pay for stuff, how do you write a check, if this happens, how do I get this money, or for me to get money I have to work and go do this. So my oldest, he has a job he does here and there. He comes on into the office with us. He'll go on site to a house to where if we're flipping, hey, this is what we do, this is our design, this makes this house more valuable than other houses, stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, it's I don't need to know when Christopher Columbus sailed. I need to know how to take care of myself and my family, not something in a textbook. And that's where we kind of pulled that out. Doctors have to go to school. They have to get degrees. But entrepreneurs don't have to do that. Entrepreneurs have to find their way. And entrepreneurs have to work hard whether or not they're going to make money. And that's the difference. And that's kind of we pulled them out. It's my daughter was at the office before I came to here. I was doing division with her on the thing while I was filling out letters to other people, sending out, stuff like that. We're doing stuff nonstop with our kids. That way I know at the end of the day, they're going to be okay to take care of themselves.
Wow. That is deep, and it's deep because I align so much with it, right? Mm-hmm. For me, specifically, I did go to college. I went to college out of fear. It's the only reason why I went to college. Was because I was so scared that I wasn't going to make money. Mm-hmm. And we had some hard times growing up. Yeah. So I said, I've got to break the mold. This is the only thing I know. What my parents are doing isn't working. They didn't go to college. My older brother went for a semester. He's working at the same company I was working at that time. And my other brother was jumping around from different jobs, and he never went to college. So for me, it was strictly out of fear. I paid for college cash. I worked 80 hours a week. I sold drugs.
Wow.
And I hustled my ass off to do it. And I can tell you right now that I was getting a PhD working full time in business, and there's one thing that I used from college, and it was how to do a structured interview. That's it. Wow. That's it.
You're like the old school entrepreneur, though. There's a lot of, I mean, it's not the greatest thing. I mean, it was probably bad at the time, but a lot of guys, they had to work their way up. Some guys sold drugs. They did that. They made it, but then they got themselves on the right track.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is it was my out. It was my separation from my circle, from my family. Was I need to do this thing that others didn't do, so I don't live a life like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But now, as I learn and I have my own children, my first thought is asking them if they want to go to college. You know, I believe that one of our 2 children will probably be an entrepreneur. I think I already know which one. The boy's young, so I don't really know yet, but I have a feeling Ellie will be. She's just very much like me. Yeah. And she comes with us, right? She's been on stage at my conferences. Okay. She's been in the green rooms with me. She's experienced the heartache and the headache and the celebratory times. So who knows? But I think it's just so important because if I look back on it, I could have student debt. Luckily I don't, but that would have crippled my entrepreneurial ventures early on. Mm-hmm. Right? Like I would have had that. It wouldn't have maybe allowed me to buy another house, flip a house, get some cash, start a business. I've never gotten a loan or a bank loan, so wow. It's been self-made since day one. And it's been hard, right? Yeah. Like I'm not saying that's the route to go, it's just my route. But I appreciate you opening up about that because it's so important to just play in the space and live in the life that you think is best for your children and not necessarily what society says.
Yeah. Exactly.
Back to you, your businesses. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing now and some lessons you've learned recently.
So right now we have, we do the home inspections. That's just been going on for the last decade. And then we've done some, been a financial professional. We have a few agents that we work with. We've been doing that for a couple of years. We had a couple of agents in other states, working with the insurance, annuities, stuff like that. That's kind of a cool thing because you can make it to people, because every person is a different way they need to save money or plan and stuff like that. And then I have a gutter cleaning company that we've been slowly making into something. I really like helping people financially and with home services. That's kind of like the area that I go towards. Yeah. And it's basically, sometimes I feel like an expert, but I don't call myself an expert. But then I know a lot, but I don't say a lot. But then when I'm talking to someone, I'm like, wow, I actually came off with a lot of value in that. That realm, that realm. I like to do that, and it's we're just trying to build, and help as many people as we can the right way. Not like, hey, let me scam you out of something. I'm like, I don't know how people get away with that stuff, but it happens every day.
Well, I think it's so interesting because you see in the inspection company, I'm sure you see all the people cutting corners. You see all the messed up stuff or the they did it themselves and they did it wrong, or they paid someone and they did it wrong. Has that bled into your experiences in other businesses, like not cutting corners, doing the right thing? I feel like there's a through line there with what you've done in the past, how you've been brought up. Because that's how I would look at Johnny and say, Johnny goes full force. Like, Johnny's not going to cut the corners if he's going to renovate your house. He's not going to cut the corners if there's another opportunity for you to save money or to invest. Do you think that comes from growing up and then your experiences in business?
Yeah, it's definitely from being raised to do hard work, but it's also a lot of experience in the last decade or so of, I'm going to do it right. And if I can't do it right, I'm probably not going to do it. And that's where I've gone to where, let's say if I'm helping somebody with a house, we're going to go all the way full force. But sometimes here's the problem that I run into. People want it very fast, and I can't handle very fast, so I have to tell them, give them an expectation. This is what's going to happen. And sometimes I just have to let them go to somewhere else because I can't offer them what they need. And if I try to do it at their level, I think I'm just not going to, produce it at the end. I'll be like, okay, we can do it fast. And then you get to the end, I'm like, man, I shouldn't have done it like that. I should have done it.
It takes your energy away from you.
Yeah.
To rush through things.
It's like, if I want to have high production, It's like if you have a carpenter and you have high production, it's because the carpenter knows where all their tools are at the exact same time. But if you go to someone that doesn't know where their tools are, they might do the job twice as long, and you're just not going to get the same result. Yeah. Or they don't know where their tools are, they do it faster for a crappier result.
Which is probably a lot of stuff that you've seen in your history of time. So you're helping people on the financial side, investment, saving money, things like that, tax breaks. You're helping them in the home services. What's the big reason that you want to help people?
I think at the end of the day is it feels real good, like helping people. It's like almost like I could literally help people, and it just gives me like my own high. To where at the end of the day, if I didn't have to make money, it wouldn't even be a problem. I would just be helping them.
Yeah.
Because we're on planet Earth, and the way you get through planet Earth and be successful is you have to have a money. You have to have a currency of some sort to survive. But if it wasn't like that, it would be like, oh, let me help you do this. I get a high off that. And it's like, let's say if I go to a really bad house or something, I really want to show the person how the house is bad. But I want to show them if they can take the right steps, they can still live in that house and create their dream. And that's how, like, some people I feel like just go straight line. You can't go straight line because everybody on earth that you deal with is a different person. And that's where, like, I feel like I can handle people a little differently than some people that have just one straight edge, and that's where they're going to go. So
I feel like that's, how do I put it? You are moving through it to get it done, not necessarily doing the best or advising the best for the person. It's almost transactional over relational, right? In those situations.
Yeah, in some of them, yeah. So.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's like, hey, we really want to do it the right way.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. Business is weird. There's a lot of guys that are just straight transactional. And on some occasions, I have to be just straight transactional. But then sometimes I can, like, peel the layers back and actually help that person. Me and my wife have had many people come to us for advice and help. Like, how do you do this? How do you do that? And we give that advice. We're happy to share that. You know, there's no transaction there. That's just giving advice, being a friend, taking care of them. Do they need help? I mean, usually 9 times out of 10, someone comes to me or my wife, we can help them. We have an answer to give them or where they can go to get help. And that, I feel like that's why we're here on this earth, or why we're doing what we're doing is, I don't know, I feel like we're like it's like a rare commodity. Like, me and my wife, we're kind of like it's like a unit.
I think society has created norms that don't necessarily benefit us and pull us away from deep human connection, right?
Yeah.
It's like the race to the top. Well, how are you going to get there? And my question to anybody listening is, will you take the shortcut to get the thing, or will you do it the right way and still get the thing?
Right.
And I think those are decisions that society tells you to do it as fast as possible and get it, and then people get it and they don't enjoy it. They didn't learn through the process, they didn't gain experience, so they can't do it again.
Yeah.
There's maybe a level of luck involved, but for the most part, it's like society wants you to just go do what you need to do to make the money and live the glorious life, and it's a very just selfish approach, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's why the rich guys sit in their mansions with no one around. Because at the end of the day, when you build big companies, I don't know, the companies that I built and have been around, it's like you have to think about the people in your company. Like, I care, I ask, are you okay? Is this okay? Is this okay? Is this okay? It's not that, hey, do this, I don't care. I just need...
Yeah. And I used to be that. I used to be that at one point, right? Yeah. It was just, get it done, I'm paying you more than market, do it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're gone.
Yeah.
That caused a lot of heartache and headache for that person in me, right?
Yeah.
I've got to replace them. I'm running through, 7, 8 employees in a year for the one position. It's costing me more money.
Oh, yeah.
Right? More time, more energy, more training, more resources. I've been that person. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I'm thinking about it right now. We had a team meeting with the marketing company this morning, and literally what you just said. Hey, how's things going today? Oh, I'm not going to teach. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to educate. I just want to hear some feedback.
Yeah.
Well, guess what happened in that feedback? I learned.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I got feedback. We solved problems in real time in the meeting.
Yeah.
And the employees felt better. They felt like they contributed. The Slack message right after, thank you so much. And then boom, 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 I did this, I did this, I did that.
Yeah.
It was inspiring and motivating because we showed up and we just said, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
What sucks? What do you need help with? What are you challenged with?
Yeah.
What have I not answered in the last week? Because I've been running around going crazy, and I know I've probably dropped the ball on some things, but I care and I want to show up and I want to help you.
Mm-hmm.
So how can I do that?
Yeah, like
Do you have any frameworks or specific meetings, or do you connect with your team at certain times? How do you kind of build and broker those relationships in your business?
I don't know. It's kind of up in there a little bit. I mean, right now, I have a mentorship meeting every week just to like give accountability to myself, because I've not really done that in many years, and I've seen that in my business, like it probably could help.
Yeah.
So then I would like, weekly meetings, an hour or two. That way it keeps me on track, and I have targets every week to achieve, and that's really helped us grow a little bit. And when I came out into the workforce and started my own businesses, I kind of just pulled up by the bootstraps and just let it roll. And just if something comes my way, I'm like, oh, okay, what do I do? Or if I can't handle it, my wife helps with the business, and she's like, well, let me handle that. I'm gonna bulldog through that, because she's handled a lot of stuff with us too. And it's like, sometimes I feel either I have fear or I'm naive about something, so I have to kind of pass it to her and be like, hey, how do we handle this?
Yeah.
Because literally I didn't grow up knowing anything about business. I just went to work, and then when we went off on our own, how to start our businesses, I'm just like, okay, this is it, Every week there's just something a little new, or some experience, or somebody has a complaint or something here that you have to handle. And at the end of the day, it's like no one can teach that unless you're in the trench doing it the whole time. That's why I say that there's not really that much of a framework. We have a schedule, we schedule certain times, and we do this and we do that, and we don't. If someone needs something or we have to make a special exception, then we'll do that. It just depends.
Yeah. Bring me back to that period of time where you were starting your business. What emotions did you have? What fears did you have?
I just get nervous thinking about it right now. Because it's literally like, that was, I don't know, almost 12 years ago. We were just sitting at home, and there was not really, we were just a one-income family, had a newborn, and we're like, what do we do to where we can take over back our time and be able to provide for the family, but also have time to where we can make our own schedule? And we looked at it for, I don't know, six months or so, just different industries, different avenues, stuff like that. And then my wife's like, what about this home inspection thing? I'm like, well, I've worked on houses. I kind of like houses. And I'm like, I can kind of do that. And she was like, well, let's look at it, And I'll never forget, like the first client I ever got was off Craigslist. I know the exact house. It was on Nautilus Drive in Nashville. I know exactly. I drove by it the other day. I'm like, wow, it's the first house I ever inspected. And I was probably like a crappy home inspector at that time because, I got a little bit of training from another home inspector in another state. And I was like, I came into it, I was very naive, but I had a decent amount of training. But as I went on, it was good, but I was very, very scared. I wasn't really...
How did it feel walking into that first inspection you ever did in a business that you just started with your wife, with a newborn, have training, but you've never done it solo, you've never done it really by yourself for your business? How'd you get through it?
Literally, it was supposed to take 2 hours there. I was probably there for like 5 hours, and I would be like, during the inspection, I was like texting the home inspector guy that I trained with, and I would send him a picture, hey, what about this? Hey, what about that? Hey, what about this? And there was a language barrier because they were Spanish. They spoke Spanish, but a little bit of English. So it was like, it was the perfect one to go into because it threw all the wrenches at me at one time. That's the way I put it. And I was like, okay, we made through that one. And then, I think in the first 6 months we did like 30 houses. And after that it was like 300 and 600. Like it grew, you know.
Yeah.
It was, and then, you know, people go, oh, I know J&J. It's kind of cool because once you're out there so much and you're doing a good job, people are like, oh, J&J. And you're like, I'm really like, wow, they know my brand. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's like when someone says a pizza place or something, you're like, oh, I know that place because it's good and they do good service and it's always the same, you know?
Yeah.
Once that kind of shifted, it was like, okay, I can breathe a little bit, but like the first, you just don't know where a dollar's coming from. And you're like, and you already know that money that you're making that day, it's already gone because you have either debt racked up or something like that. But it was, I don't know, it was like, it just like still thinking back to that day makes me feel like, wow, that's like, I did that. And I showed up in a car that I paid $1,000 for. You know, we were just roughing it. Going back to that was so cool though. Like, I drove this big grandma car, I had my ladders in the trunk, helping people with their biggest financial decision of their life. And even though it should have took me 2 hours, it took me 5 because I wanted to give them the product.
Yeah, you cared.
Yeah, and it was like, I mean, it just
now look at where you're at.
Yeah, it was like basically, it was like, oh, this uphill battle, and it's more of me stepping back. Now I'm an executive. I have people that, you know, that I send them out to do inspections. I inspect, and it's like I got to run the schedule. You got to look at the stats. You got to make sure the pay's going out, and it's like, and now it's a whole another animal. I wouldn't trade it.
It's so interesting because so many people don't get to that point of walking in that first house.
Yeah.
Right? Or they do everything but the one thing that produces the revenue because they're scared.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I actually have to fulfill this. I sold it, now I have to fulfill it.
Yeah.
And I just, thankfully, for me personally, I've never been like that. I've always just been like, let's go get it.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. I'll leverage resources. But I have to prepare. I have to have enough knowledge.
Yeah.
When I was consulting again full time, and at the end of 23, I had a mentor who just said, sell the package. And I didn't sell any consulting packages for 3 months. And what I realized in that time was I didn't align with how he was positioning me to run that business.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to research human connection. I started to research more of the marketing and the psychology and the biases and decision-making processes. And as I prepared and gained that knowledge, it allowed me to then go and sell because I now had a framework. I now had I could position myself to where I felt confident and comfortable because I did the work before the work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just think that sometimes we don't have all the answers. Sometimes we don't have the full fulfillment, but are you actually showing up and preparing to the best of your abilities? To your point, you went and got the training. You had that resource ready to send pictures to and ask and to, get advice. You had the car that got you there. It might not have been the cutest or sexiest, right? But you prepared. You did all the things to then walk in and to show up and fulfill it. And I feel like a lot of new business owners or new entrepreneurs, especially now that we run a marketing company, they're like, I need the sizzle reel, or I need I need to get on stage so I look like a thought leader, or I need a new logo. And it's like, no, you need a CRM.
Yeah.
You need people to call and talk to and to sell your services. And you need packages, and you need feedback, and you need use cases and testimonials. We can build the website, but it ain't going to bring you business today.
Yeah, exactly.
We can build the socials, but it ain't going to bring you business today. What's your story? Where's your passion? How are you conversing? How are you getting leads? Who are you calling? Who are you talking to? Most people don't want to pick up the phone, especially millennials, younger folks. I'm someone who I don't get high off of doing cold calls.
Yeah.
I do them when I need to. I do them when I'm in a crunch. But I've got all these other systems that are bringing in leads and people and things, so I don't have to resort to that. But guess what I did when I first started consulting? Picked up the phone and made cold calls because I didn't have the systems in place. Yeah. And I didn't want to spend time on the systems.
Yeah.
Now that you've been in business 12 years ago, you've done multiple things. How important are systems to you?
It's very important because I used to have really crappy systems. And there was times where I would get up at 6 a.m. and work, and then go out in the field and work, and then I would come home, And literally I'd be working on my phone and I would just fall asleep and I'd wake up the next day and I'd just go back into my work. Like, it was that bad. And then finally, you know, you talk to other guys in the business and the industries and stuff, and they're like, oh, I'll do this, that, and the other. And then they're like, and then I have a system, they're like, dude, this is nothing. Like, now it's like if I go work in the morning and go out in the field and I only do like 1 or 2 houses or whatever or anything, or if I do, sometimes I'll go on site and help someone. Oh, I had a renovation. I want you to look at it, make sure it's done right. I'll do like those, like walk through like inspection. Like if I do stuff like that, you know, I come home and like by the time I'm done and come home, I don't have any work at home.
Yeah,
it's already done because they have the systems in place, and it's like it sends out the emails, it sends out the follow-ups. If somebody needs anything, it emails me back, all that stuff. That's how you keep your mind sane, because systems, if you don't have a system, it's like the old guy with the piece of paper. He'll put it, and he puts it in the filing cabinet, rolls it over there, and then he's got to pull it back out, he's got to look at it. It's kind of like the old doctors where they had to pull out your folder. Oh, let's see, what did we do on you last week? Okay, we did this, that, and the other. But if it's like on the iPad, it's in the system, you just put in their last name, boom, it shows up, and you're like, okay, we did this, that, and the other. The systems there make life so much easier, and if, you know, we spend a pretty amount every year on that stuff.
But it gives you your sanity, like you said.
Yeah.
You're not falling asleep on the phone.
Yeah.
You've got things in place. You've got safety nets to catch. You got automations.
Yes.
I mean, let's just be realistic. It's 2025.
Yeah.
If you're not using automation and workflow, you're going to get left in the dust, or you're going to mitigate your profitability. And as we can see inflation rising, and we're in a recession, even though no one wants to talk about it, like all these things are happening. You have to play that game because your competition is.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And it's like AI. Like the person who's like, I'll never use AI. I'm like, cool. You've got about 5 years.
Yeah.
And you're going to get stomped on.
Yeah.
And you're going to be doing triple the work to catch up.
Yeah.
And it's just the reality of where the world's going, you know? But that's a system. AI is a system.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like someone was asking me, like, oh, how do you use AI and where do you get all your prompts? I'm like, I have a system. They're like, oh, well, I just go like Google or like, you know, see someone talking about this. And I'm like, well, where do you put it?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm old school with it. I got a legit spreadsheet and I got tabs and it's, you know, logo creation or unique copywriting for a blog or, you know, and I coordinate them because that's a system.
Yeah.
Right? So I go in, I control F in my Google spreadsheet and I type in, you know, copy for a dentist office and I've got prompts and then I build the bot and I save the bot.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to go to the spreadsheet next time. I just, I have a bot. Dentist office, copy, cool.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's just a system. That's it. Being in business for 12 years, what was the hardest moment where you were thinking about giving up?
That's crazy. I don't know, it's probably, I don't know, I've had a couple of those where it's like you're in over your head and it's like you spend your money and then the bills pile up. Because I mean, if you're talking to a real business owner, it's not like peaches and cream.
Hold on. You could be talking to a real business owner, but someone who's not being honest.
Well, that's true.
They're still real, but they are not being honest.
Yeah, I mean, there's been.
If you've never cried, I don't think you've owned a business. Just saying.
Oh yeah. If you never like looked up at your ceiling at night in your bed and think of like, you know, am I in the right vehicle? Then you probably never owned and been a real entrepreneur. And it's like, I mean, it was probably a couple years ago, maybe like after like the really big real estate boom, and then everything started to like fall out of the sky and the interest rates went up and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know, I'm like looking at like these weird off jobs. I'm like, do I need to drive for Uber to make the same amount, or do I need to do that? And it was like, sometimes it's almost easy to just wake up and go clock in and put in the time and then clock back out. And I really gave it some thought. Like it was really like, I don't know if I really relayed that to my wife enough, but it's like, you know, I really gave it to her like, man, it's so easy. Like if I found a half decent job where I could really like give it up, because When it's so bad, and when it's really bad, and there's no like, it's like you're in the hole and you're trying to climb your way out, but it's like you keep slipping because the mud's pulling you down. It keeps raining on top of you. And when you get to that point, it's like you find like, if you're in that mud hole, there's like an easy spot and you find a hole and you can just go escaping through it. That's like the easy part, but it's like when you're clawing your way up and you're like, you don't know if you're ever gonna like pay the bills on time again or if everything's gonna work out. You're like, man, why am I doing this? Like, why? It really puts a big strain on the home front because you bring all that shit home. That's the problem. And the kids and the other parent at home, they don't deserve any of that. Because they want to see, hey Dad, how you doing? You know, that's what they want. You know, it's kind of...
I'm with you, bro. I got full body goosebumps because I've been there. And, you know, more recently, like 6 months ago, right? Having a second kid, you know, losing a big deal, not traveling because I need to stay at home, not getting the speaking fee, and you have those situations where you're like, dude, I'm trying to be Superman all day long, and I'm fucking Clark Kent when I get home.
Yeah.
This is fucked up.
Yep.
Like,
It is.
Is this worth it? No, it's not. So then my mind goes, well, let me go get a job because I can go get a job and make $150K tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's funny we're actually talking about this because I made a post that showed up on Facebook today from last year.
Oh, wow.
This day, last year, where I talk about this exact thing that we're talking about because I was going through it. And you come home and you're like, dude, am I fucking up my family to follow my dream? And if you don't have a supportive partner, and if you don't have a real partnership, then that person is going to kill your dream.
Yeah.
And when I go to Caitlin and I'm crying at the table and I'm rolling change to buy groceries and I don't know how to make the mortgage, and I don't know how to make payroll, and I'm saying I'm ready to give up, and she's saying, you got this shit. What do I need to do? Do I need to work? Do you need, when you're tired, do you want, so, and you can't drive Uber, should I go drive Uber?
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then the breakthrough happens, right? And it's like, this person calls me who I prospect 9 months ago,
Yes.
and they don't want the package we were talking about. They want the package that's worth double,
Yeah.
right? And then it's
Yeah.
like, and then all of a sudden, someone calls me and says, hey, my best friend needs to buy a house from you.
Yeah.
And then we're under contract in 72 hours. And I know in 21 days from now, I got a $15,000 check coming.
Yeah.
I just cashed a 10 and now I'm up 25. And it's like, what just happened?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's the entrepreneur roller coaster. Looking back now, I mean, this is where I'm going to be and this is where I'm going to go. I'm not going to go anywhere else. Because at the end of the day, it's literally freaking magic. You go into a hole and then you're working your way out and then all of a sudden shit comes in from different angles that you don't know anything. Like, is this magic? Why did this come in? Why did I prospect this person 6 months ago? And at this point in my life, why is it coming in right now? And it's just...
I have a crazy story about that. So the first year I threw the conference, I took all my liquid cash, $240K, and I put it into the conference.
Wow.
And I had a closing, because I was still doing a lot of real estate at the time. I was transitioning out, and the buyer didn't show up on closing day and defaulted.
Holy shit.
So I had no money, and I wasn't getting the $18,000 that I was supposed to get.
Wow.
And I couldn't make the mortgage. And I own 3 houses, so it was like, I don't have the, like, I'm not making a lot off this one. This was a long-term play, so like the profitability, that long-term rental isn't covering my mortgage. So it's a few, $500, right? That doesn't cover the mortgage. So I had these other things working, and I was $800 short. And this has to be a God thing, because it just doesn't even make sense otherwise. I worked for a company in 2018 when I moved to Nashville, and apparently I was part of an employee profit sharing program, and I got an $806 check that day in the mail.
Perfect.
Like, what? I needed $800, and I got an $806 check in the mail that day for something I didn't even like. I worked for that company for like 2 years at a director level.
Wow.
Like, I wasn't a CEO, and I never got that money ever again.
Wow.
Like, I didn't get it the next year. And there may be some logistics behind. I know the company sold. Maybe I got a little tiny fraction because I was there for 2 years. Like, whatever it is, but like, literally out of nowhere.
Wow.
And it's just those things of like, don't quit, dude. Don't quit. You are in the lane. You are in the vehicle.
Yeah.
But, man, can I feel that with you when you were saying, like, it's not even about us at that point.
Yeah.
It's like, am I fucking up my kids? Am I fucking up my wife?
Yeah.
And that's what usually gets me.
Yeah.
And if I don't go to her and have the conversation, I bottle it and I break.
Yeah.
I suffer silently.
Yeah.
And now I finally learned, go to Caitlin, right? And I also learned this, and I don't know if your wife's similar. She may not be, but there's certain things that I can't share with Caitlin financially because she doesn't know the game I have set up, or the next play I'm already thinking about, or what I've done so something can come on the back end and save or support us.
Yeah.
So I was sharing a lot of the stress, and she was like, I can't handle it, it's too much. So I started to realize there's different conversations and different levels that I need to share openly, and some stuff that I just need to hold on to until it gets to that breaking point, right? Yeah. But like, I was telling a friend the other day, I'm like, it's really cool that Caitlin gives me the autonomy, but I also think she'd be horrified with the risk I take sometimes.
We're the opposite. Because I'm like, she handles that kind of area, and like, we'll go off on a limb and just go like that. And I'm like, that's fucking insane. She's like, yeah, but you know what? It's gonna work out. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, because I believe in her 100%. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
When did you guys start having some of those deep conversations? Was that early in your marriage? Was that early in your business? Did it take a couple of years?
Yeah, I think
to kind of learn each other and
because like we got in together real quick. Like, boom, hey, you want to hang out? Yeah, let's hang out. Hey, you want to get married? Yeah, let's get married. Hey, you want to have a kid? Yeah, let's have a kid. Like, it was like that, like really fast.
How quick?
Like, our kid was born in 2010, and we got together at the end of 2008.
So similar to me, Caitlin.
Yeah, it was fast.
Yeah, we were fast too.
But at the same time, I would say if someone's looking for that, I would say it's kind of like magic. Like, you already know.
Wow, yeah.
Like, if you're being around that person and it's like that, you already know. It's not like, oh, let me like date and stuff like that. No, it's like, we didn't really date. It's like, hey, you want to be together? We're together. Who cares?
Yeah.
No, you know when it's like that. And it probably took actually quite some time, like many, many years, to have those conversations to where like, hey, you need to take responsibility for some stuff, and I need to take responsibility for some stuff, but we have to share all the responsibilities. Mm-hmm. And if you're not in that, then that's that we can't have that. We've had that talk to where if you can't take responsibility, we can't do this as a unit. Mm-hmm. This is kind of deep. I've never really said this to anybody, but it's like, if you can't take your share, then we can't make this happen. Yeah. And it was like, oh shit. So that's like some real shit. So I actually got...
There's consequences that come from that. Yeah. And I've communicated that the expectation, you've agreed the expectation, you're not pulling your weight or you need some help, then you need to tell me because I'm counting on you and you're counting on me.
And it's like, now looking back, it's like, oh, I was almost like really immature. And I had to, have growth in that area to where it's like, oh, I have to like actually like act like I'm not one of the kids, because sometimes she jokes around and she's like, oh, you're my 8th kid. I'm like, yeah, I know, who cares? But at the same
there's
time,
reality to it, and there's fun, and there's play in the relationship.
I mean, that's just the way it is, and it's like, I've had to come to terms with, I have to actually be responsible. It's not just her, and I was like, that sucks. And then I'm like, okay, But the more responsibility you take in an area for someone, for yourself and stuff like that, it really, like, your area actually broadens and you have more control. It's really like magic. It's really crazy.
We are bringing in a mentor of mine next week to spend time with Caitlin and I to go through something that I teach and educate on around our strengths, around ground rules in the partnership. This is for the business side of it, because we're business partners in the marketing company, and I realized that it's not fair if I teach this because I am biased in it. And it's not going to be received from me because I am your partner and I am your husband.
Yeah.
So let's bring in a third party so it's not me dictating, it's us listening, absorbing, and asking questions back. Because I want to give it a good shake where it's not me dictating. Because I know that if I just bring all the training or bring the awareness to it, I'm going to feel like I'm doing all of it, and it's not supposed to be like that, right? We both agreed that we'd bring this person in, we would do our homework before, do what we need to do, and show up wholeheartedly to that meeting. But it really stemmed from me just talking with him and telling him what's been going on because, we started this company a couple months ago. About a year and a half ago, Caitlin and I tried to work on a project together, and we squashed it because I made the statement, I can never work with you. And it's not because she was bad. It's not because she did anything wrong. I was immature. I didn't know how to maneuver the relationship.
Yeah.
And I was bringing in the scorekeeping on the project to the scorekeeping in life. And when you
same shit that I've went through before.
When you keep score,
yeah,
every relationship fails, right? Because the reality of it is if I chose you or you chose me to do this thing together, then I have to have faith and courage that you're trying and that you are doing what you believe is best. And balance never stays on the barometer here, right? It goes more Caitlin this week, more Jim this week. Yeah. More Caitlin this day, more Jim this day. Caitlin for these 3 days while Jim's, out of town or traveling and then, Caitlin needs some girl time, right? So it's but all that ends up here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And if you're keeping score, you're going to drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm also the person that calls a meeting with Caitlin, my wife, and my business partner and says, hey, we have to set some ground rules. Breakfast in the morning is family breakfast. So I don't want to talk about clients. I don't want to talk about deliverables. I don't want to ask you for updates because you do one side of the business, I do the other. You asking me for forecasts, what clients are coming in, what do you think you're going to close, what are you selling? And we literally have that conversation. The next morning, I bring up business at breakfast. And I'm the one who came up with the idea.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, I'm not perfect. I'm a human. But to your point, I'm learning. And I got a long road to go. And I believe Caitlin will be happy with the growth because I'm putting in the effort. Right? And she wants to put in the effort too. It's a beautiful thing when it aligns like that. But man, how stupid did I feel by saying, let's set some ground rules and fucking 16 hours later, I blast through them. Like, it's so embarrassing, but it's like, again, I'm human. I'm human.
You get a slap on the wrist, that's what you get.
Last question for you.
Okay.
All the people you've met in your life, all the mentors, the different businesses, the different clients, what's the most important quality that you seek in someone that you spend a lot of time with, or that's a mentor of yours, or that you really just appreciate and respect? What is that number one quality you're usually seeking in a relationship to find alignment?
It's literally the simplest thing. It's when they say they're going to do something, they always do it. That's the simplest thing. I mean, literally, it doesn't matter what race you are, where you're from, how tall, short, if you're cocky, you're not cocky. If you come out and say, Johnny, this is what I'm going to do, you better do it. Because I'm expecting it because you would expect it for me. And that's like the biggest quality. And there's many times where like I've had half-assed stuff way back in the day. And I've had to grow on that and mature. And I would see myself like, wow, like I kind of went that way, but I didn't fully go that way. So then I'd have to back up and then go back that way and then finish the job or do whatever I need to do. Because mentally, I will go do something, and if I don't feel 100, I have to go back and do it or finish the job. And that's kind of what I look for in someone.
It's just talk at that point.
Yeah.
And nobody got time for that, especially with 7 kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Johnny Harper, thank you, brother. I appreciate you being here. To anybody listening, we'll put some information down in the show notes with some more details around where you can find Johnny, learn more about him, his companies, his amazing family, and businesses. Let's break some barriers and create some impact. We'll see you on the next episode.